you did? Yes. There you go. These are cute. Thanks. This is good. You don't know. Yeah. I say. Well, with bears, but she adds one of them. It's my. No charge. Don't you gotta pick the other ones? Let me share. Okay, okay. Then you can try. That's. Saturday. This one? No, that's my one. Oh.
So you left her back?
Good
Good night for that.
Huh?
Good night for the vet.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You got a little time. still.
Yeah,
That's
it's only
good.
5 minutes.
Good, good. I made it. I will. That's all I can say. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is.
Don't worry, Scott, next year, the pay for a chair doubles.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Thank you, I appreciate it. Cheers. Let me skip over this one.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Philippe?
No, so you get paid.
Well,
Well, we all want to get paid, don't we? Len?
we just want jackets or something, something that says.
Well, I give you guys any money, I'm getting more for myself.
You can.
you know how hard it, so
Pardon?
I have considered the jacket or shirt thing.
Uh-huh.
You have
Might
any
as well.
idea how hard it is for me to coordinate with you all during the day to come here to get fitted?
I'm easy.
You're easy.
What do you mean?
He's
all
all-
you just gotta give your side.
Charlie visits me all the time.
We talk all the time, you can ask me anything.
You don't want me to ask you the shirt size.
All you gotta do is just call everybody and say, yo.
You should call.
Shirt size.
Polo shirt, something that says plain board.
I will figure something in.
Do we get summer and winter?
And a badge.
Okay, I
This ain't union.
you might go too far
Don't
tonight.
make that sound like it's a bad thing.
No, Franco
I don't
remembers,
think
it's
you need
300
microphone
bucks,
on.
right?
$500.
3. Oh, yeah, five for highway, yeah. Boots, hats, whatever.
Yeah. 200 for boots, 300 for clothes. Come on, let's go, yes.
Make a motion.
Not to make a motion.
Guys, you know microphones are on and live, so
No,
hopefully you're not on.
I think Scott's might be on.
Michael.
There you go. The red light's dead.
Red light down. Mark, how are you doing today?
All right, thanks.
Happy New Year.
You too.
Got a call ready.
We were concerned.
Fred's on.
So Fred's on.
I'm on.
Thank you, Fred. You're pretty. Pretty. That's how it comes, Fred.
Mr. Meltzer,
Listen,
Did you call Cindy?
huh?
Is it Cindy?
I think he did. Lambros was sworn in, right?
that's probably know.
If
Yep.
there is sometime in the near future, can you like email us, let us know, like going into this new year, what we all have for credits and what we need?
They'll restart. And I think it's.
Oh, they
4 hours?
restart
Yeah,
every-
every year, 4 hours, I believe, right?
So zero.
All right, that was easy.
Yeah.
With
They
the
all
county,
zero,
they
yeah.
don't restore. You will accumulate and you can keep going.
Okay.
But you always need 4 per year.
4 for you.
Okay.
And none of you guys sent me anything except for Bill last year.
Well, that's great.
Oh,
Road trip.
went to a few, didn't
Yeah, but you never sent me them, so I can't keep track of your hours if
Yeah,
you
I
don't send them to me.
I had to keep them up with the county, so.
Let's go.
But now.
Bahamas seems like a good place to go.
Yeah.
You find us a good year?
Yeah, let me get that.
What do you think? Bahamas.
We can go to the first one there.
There you go. Hey, Lambros.
Hey, Lambert, so you know.
Lambert, you get sworn in?
Happy New Year.
Yes. Good man.
Bill,
Thank
I
you.
just need to know, where are you at this time?
Is your mic on?
You
Turn your mic on.
got 30 seconds.
Bill, could you tell me where are you right now? You're David. You can't unmute.
I'm in La Paz, Mexico.
Oh, good for you. How's the weather?
I don't know, but I think nice. You could have said it was a field trip, we all could have met.
You're getting choppy. I have a bad connection. Can you hear me?
You're breaking up bad.
I just sent Dave a picture of the beach I left to go to this meeting.
That's great.
If it was, it,
I'll show it to us.
we are in an open meeting, though, it was a suitable for work each, right?
It was just beach pictures.
Oh, sure, Alan.
I'm at,
Yeah, go.
I got 5:20.
and I'm gonna go like. The clock. There it is, 5:30. Let's open this meeting. It's the first workshop meeting of the year. Thursday, January 18th, and I would like to have.
They were
Start with the pledge.
Oh, sorry.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Of the United
And
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
Yes. Wow, thank you, everybody. Do we have, town board representation here? That's nice. We have some people in the public. I would first like to start off by saying, congratulations to Lambros. He's now a full member of the planning board. And we're going to welcome Fred Pizzuto to the alternate position. He's been on the board before and, he's wants to be back involved in certain things, so here he is.
Good to be back.
Great, and congratulations to everybody else, and I should say, Happy New Year and welcome back. As the room goes, we all know our escape routes are out the front and the back door. A muster point would be across the street by the Methodist Church, so someplace away from the building if there's something happening here. So I suggest, everybody's familiar, any new people, you know where you're going, just in case. I would also like to make an announcement about phones. If you can turn all your cell phones off so that we don't have an interruption of a phone call. I would also request that of our board. I think that's something we lead by example, so if ours are off and not ringing, the public should be at least able to do the same thing. And now the meeting is officially open. We have the minutes to approve at the next meeting for December 7th, 2023.
Scott, are we missing the November minutes? Did we ever approve those? Wasn't there a November meeting?
I thought we did at the full meeting in December.
Did we? If we did, that's fine. I don't recall.
We did.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So first on the agenda is all business. We have the villages. And, we'd like-
Actually, Kelly's on her way and I think she kind of wants to wait to get started until she gets here. Do you
that's
know-
fine. We can go on to the next one.
Item on the agenda?
There's nothing else under all business, but we can go to new business. So the first new, item under new business is Joshua Murphy. It's a special use permit. The application and plans were circulated to the board. Do we have someone here to speak on behalf of that project? Come on up and introduce yourself, give us your address and tell us a little bit about your story.
Hi, everybody.
Microphone on.
Let's push the button. Yep, you got it.
Hi, good afternoon. My name's Joshua Murphy. I live down the road at 6 Christopher Avenue. Over here in Highland.
Chris, take a little closer.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah, so my wife is a stay-at-home mother of 3, and I have a good job over at Central Hudson. We're just looking for another way of potentially making some income. So the long-term goal is to try and convert our garage to an Airbnb studio apartment. And then my parents from North Carolina are able to come and stay with us because we have full capacity right now. So dual purpose would be pretty beneficial for our family, but that's our hopes and dreams at this point.
Okay. Do you have anyone from the staff who would like to speak to this?
You can see the plans up on the big screen right now. I will share them in 1 second. Hold on a second, Zoom folks. Give me 1 second. So this is the half of the most it's the full garage, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the garage. This is where the new space will be. I'll zoom out a little bit. The lot has plenty of parking. I know it well. I was just down there dealing with some drainage things on another lot. So to me, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy in terms of. So this is actually not just a it's a accessory apartment with STR or no?
I thought it was just an accessory apartment first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just mentioned, short-term rental though as well.
Yeah. So
That's the goal, but yeah, if you guys aren't able to process both at the same time.
No, we can, it's just, it's gonna be up to you, if, you'll have to come back for another round of this. If you decide to not do the STR now, so, no big, it's no skin off our nose,
Oh, right.
and none of yours really,
Right,
but
it doesn't make sense for me to follow through.
but the application states what? Just
accessory apartment.
Just accessory apartment.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that we'd have to get. In the past, we would like to see them at least merged together or separated if that's how you wanted to do it. So if you want to merge them together, you're gonna, I guess it would have to be a reapplication here.
Yeah, we would just amend the current application.
That's what I'm, as long as it's on that application.
There's a couple more steps, we have to do an inspection, et cetera, but we couldn't do that really until the space was built. So one way or the other, we're gonna do the accessory unit first.
Gotcha. So here we are.
So here we are.
What time? Do would be done with it.
Yeah, the hiccup is we can't do a fire safety inspection, which you guys require before we show up,
Right.
until the space is built. He needs a special permit for use before that happens. That's the hiccup. I mean, I agree, Jerry, but
The real process is, let's just get the, special use permit done first. And then when you're ready, call us back to do, or to do the, special use permit for the,
easy, easy.
all right, that's the easiest way to go.
I mean-
So let's just talk to that today.
I mean, could we approve it pending inspections? I mean, we could approve.
Yeah, you
it
absolutely
pending
can.
On the fire inspection and it meets all the rules and regulations.
Yeah, I just wouldn't be able to issue a permit, an STR permit for him until all that piece is done. But then it would still have to come back here for at least one vote.
Yeah, many things come before us, so it's not gonna matter if he comes back again.
And I don't think, yeah, its location, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of pushback.
All right, so
so-
we're talking about special use permit tonight. Anything else from staff?
No, water, sewer, gas, it's all good.
You're all good?
What's the square footage of the garage that you're looking to change it to the accessory apartment?
275.
Okay, so you fall into the six.
Yeah, he's way under.
Okay.
Okay. I'm good, yeah, well, I guess we'll see you, what, next week? or-
Next week, we'll set a public hearing for next month and
For next month.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. John Kelly's still not here, so she's gonna keep going down. Keep going down. So even though they're not, well, they're not the need, so you have public hearings, it's Highland 9W self-storage, that is special use permit.
it's the solar on top. We've got county comments back, I
No,
think.
that's the one we have to read. It's just
Oh,
referred to the
so-
county.
So they're not here today, and it's gotta be referred to the county, now, right?
Yep.
Also SCC Holding Corp., where are they here tonight?
That's Kuza.
Yeah. why-
We were waiting for county comment.
Dave, can you unmute, share the screen?
Why am I thinking county comment already sent stuff in, didn't I yet?
Just got it.
I just got it.
No county,
Sorry.
no county impact.
No county. I-
Yeah, you saw,
County
you saw it as a meeting, right?
Can we talk about this? If there's an issue, can we pull up
Let's,
the?
hold on 1 second. Bill, what did you have?
He's muted.
To be able to share. He wanted to see the site.
He's muted.
Uh,
Go ahead, Bill.
Oh, all I wanted to do was have him unshare the other thing. That's fine now.
Okay. Can we talk about this? Yes, I don't see any reason why we can't. We're here. Franklin.
All right, go to Dave, can you scroll down to the double clean out section? That's single clean out there, it's down.
this is the only, is it?
Dave, I think these are the old plans.
It must be. Let's see. Nope, that's house. I don't know.
Sarah sent us the other day.
Yeah, that should be them.
Yeah, but it should be, it doesn't show what you sent me, showed the detail for the double clean out, which is backwards. So
Oh.
I
fix it.
put all the plans on the server this morning.
Yeah, I think that might be all I've got.
As we reviewed, showed the driveway being relocated to the
Yeah.
north end of the property.
Mhm.
To get the grade under 12%.
Okay, I believe you. Who are they called? SCC? Hmm,
This project was a little backwards anyways, because you kind of did things before we said yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's a little,
if you all remember that, right?
Right,
So,
I don't know.
yeah, he actually put the sewer in before.
yeah, we should, so it's a lot of investment. Is something if we decided for some reason not to go through.
It's
it.
me. No, I got a public comment on it. Where else would it be, do we think?
The planning board told during January.
Here we are. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I didn't put it on because they weren't here.
Yeah,
There's 11-8 one up on top here.
that's when you open.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. Let's see, it wouldn't have come in the, we didn't have it for November, December, right?
It came in January.
Yeah. Let's see. Try this again, we gotta move the camera a little bit. A lot of things come in January. That's what you wanted?
Yeah, if you pull the detail page up. From the double clean out, scroll down.
This is the bottom of the page.
Ooh. There it is, right here. Can you enlarge this here? No, go down.
Yeah, give me a second.
That right here. You're backwards. What happens is the lines should face each other. Because this will go back to the house, this will go out to the street, whichever, but if you get a back up in here, there's no way to snake it out. If you got finished basement, you're taking a nasty ass snake down. But they are backwards.
In the drawing developments. Yeah. Are they that big in real life? Maybe so with.
No, dude, I've been doing this 44 years. Christian?
Yeah, we had that camera there for people. Yeah, the cleanups that they got kind of.
Right, the Ys have to face each other.
Just like we did at the Legion. Well, that's what you get when you jump ahead of.
I do.
Did I say that last?
Yeah.
So that's an issue that's gotta be repaired, obviously.
Christian, you have more?
Other comments, regarding water service connections, the EAF, and we submit that. Concern regarding the driveway, we need to put the grading for the driveway, that's what has been shown. Just to make sure that the grading happening if the apron doesn't, go off the property onto the examiner. A little bit of concern about, now that they've realigned that driveway and they're proposing about fairly substantial cut, probably 3 or 4 feet over the entire length. It's gonna have the effect of channeling runoff right out into the roadway unless there's some provisions to capture that and get that in the ditch line. The parking calculation page on back on the clean out detail. Method of refuse removal, if they're gonna have a dumpster back there, if they do, they need to show up. Included for that. And just, limited disturbance, need to have erosion control. Provisions and details. Need to have some infiltration testing to make sure that the driveway is appropriate for this application. Identify what tree clearing is required. If they're proposing a level spreader, just need to have some sizing calculations, and some mapping for that. Use provision for overflow from the driveway to make sure that it doesn't back up and surcharge the these neighbors. Oh, yeah.
Dave,
I got nothing.
Paul,
Yeah, we were waiting for technical.
okay, well, that one was locked till next week.
I do that.
Randy Romeo's not here. either.
Actually,
That
Scott,
was-
I'm sorry, that's sorry to interrupt. I know you don't usually supply it until the regular meeting. Can we get a copy of the letter and we'll get it over to the applicant? The village is here.
Oh, that's right, I was gonna ignore them because they came in.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go back to old business and the villages. John Kelly, thank you for coming. Happy New Year. all.
Happy New Year. It's been a while. My name is John Burst, attorney from Catania Man Ryder. I have Kelly Weibel from KRC. We're here on behalf of the applicant. You guys will probably remember way back in August of 2023, you guys passed a couple of resolutions of approval. One was a resolution for the lot line change. The second was a resolution for the site plan approval in connection with the PRRD. Those were approved back in August. The resolution granted kind of like an overall site plan approval. And then it also granted a resolution of approval for phase A. And part of that resolution is coming back, come back to the board when you're ready to get a more site detailed approval for further phases. Phase A, I think, had about 19 units proposed in it. And right now we're coming back and seeking approval for phases B and C. I'm sorry, phase A was 21 units. Phase B is 17 and phase C1 is 23 units and C2 is 19 units. So pursuant to the outline, we kind of put together a phased approach approval process with the planning board, given the size of the project. So right now we submitted earlier this month. We would like to get the approval specifically for phase B and C. With respect to phase A, we submitted an overall site plan. We just received Department of Health approvals. We received DEC approvals. We've been basically completed all of the conditions of the approvals in connection with the site plan for the overall site plan and phase A. In fact, we filed the lot line change map. So we've been knocking out the approvals of the conditions of the approvals over the last 6 months. I think the Department of Health was one of the biggest obstacles that we finally attained a couple of weeks ago. I think we're just waiting for the actual sign off from the county itself. I can have Kelly go into more details, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys up to speed as far as where we're at, what we're doing and what we're looking for. And I think your attorney wants to speak as well.
He so does.
Sorry. I just want to clarify where we are, because the original approval granted you allowance of certain aspects to do phase A and certain of the 3 model independent living units.
Correct,
So that's the approval that you've had.
yes.
And so now you're back in for the site plans for phase A and for phases B and C infrastructure.
No.
No, the site plan for phase A was reviewed back in August and reviewed and approved with the conditional approval.
Yeah, so in the resolution, overall was approved. And then A was approved. There was an authorization in the resolution by the planning board to allow the applicant to proceed with a building permit to complete certain site work, to allow the development of the site, to allow for those 3 models.
Right,
And
right,
that building permit was applied for and granted, and that work is ongoing.
right. The site plans for phase A have not been signed yet.
Correct, yeah.
Because before you get those signed, you need to get the overall site plan signed.
Correct, and that was just submitted, I think, last week.
Right.
Yeah, there's sort of a sequence of this that had to occur. We did not want to submit the overall site plan and the phase A site plan for signature. One, because we needed to meet the conditions of approval of the resolution, but 2, we wanted to have complete New York State DEC approval of the
Right.
sanitary support and Ulster County Department of Health approval of the water. So in this municipality, that's how utilities are gonna. DEC approval came in shortly before Christmas. And Ulster County Department of Health, we just found out this week was approved. We've obviously, all of this work has been done with DEC and Ulster County Department of Health in conjunction with Clark Patterson Lake. Yeah, so Andy Learn and very involved in the process. So now what you have in front of you is the overall site plan in front of the town for the chair signature. So there was a number of conditions that were headed in that. They provided a letter summarizing that. That plan reflects any changes that DEC or Ulster County Department of Health requested. So that has been addressed and approved by them. That plan also addresses any of the stormwater changes that were requested by Clark Patterson Lee in the final SWIP. So the SWIP is completed.
Right.
So at this point, SWIP DOT, water sewer completed. Phase A would have come in at the same time for the chairman's signature, but there were a few comments that we just wanted to clarify.
Right.
That will be dropped off probably Monday, so that you'll have overall site plan and A. With a summary letter of each of the conditions in the resolution, Paul,
Yeah.
that address how we met them.
And I apologize, I'm just trying to, because I'm looking
Try
at
to
the
make it
bottom
as
of
complete as
page,
possible. Yep.
yeah, page 5 of the
Same one.
resolution.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, okay, so we still need to get the site plans, the overall site plans approved,
Not approved, signed.
signed, sorry, I
Yep,
apologize.
and
Yeah,
A signed,
And A signed,
correct. Yep, and,
which is the bottom of
bottom.
page 5?
yep,
That's what you, okay.
and then we delayed submitting B, C1 and C2 for
Yeah,
the same reasons, is we didn't want to submit these plans to you that didn't reflect the overall approval from Ulster County and DEC. And DEC as far as the SWIP is concerned, so the plans that you have in front of you for B, C1 and C2 now have, Clark Patterson Lee has reviewed water sewer storm. DEC reviewed the storm, the SWIP is finalized, New York State DEC has reviewed the sanitary sewer, and Ulster County Department of Health has reviewed the water. So all of those items have been reviewed, your board reviewed the initial phasing plans, but if you recall, this board had asked for some discretion on subsequent approvals for each of the phases so that we could, control some of the dialogue and any additional conditions that you wanted to impose on subsequent phases of the work.
Okay.
So that was kind of the length of time between August and today was meeting. There were quite a few conditions of approval and there was a lot of paperwork that had to be completed. So that's been done. We've worked really closely with the town. Paul, Amy Learn and Dave on trying to address some of those conditions. So we try to give you a complete set, so there was the minimal amount of, review and comments that have to occur.
Right, so this is basically reviewing the planning board's review of phase B, C1 and C2. Getting into like the details.
And we submitted these three separately, so it was separate, separate submissions, because we thought that we wanted to keep each of these phases separate. And so we submitted a separate plan set and a separate letter for each one.
so, and I'm fine advising, go ahead and review, but in terms of any action, I think we need to be clear about where we are in terms of the signing of the site plans and what that means about when you can make a decision, take action on the next round of site plans. That's all.
Okay.
I agree, and in Paul's defense, we have lived this for the last 6 months, meeting all of these conditions, so it's so fresh on our minds.
Yeah.
You guys are in catch-up mode,
Yeah.
so that's why we're coming.
Trust me, it's a lot to process that through.
Yep, this is like the Bible, I have to keep going back to this resolution, it's, wait a minute, how are we supposed to do this? So agree, once you catch up, if you have questions and so forth, just let us know, but we just wanted to give you an overall explanation of what you have in front of you.
We did this to ourselves, but.
No, we-
I advocated for the-
We did it to them.
Yeah, that's the one that sets the milestones for where you're supposed to be at, right?
That's right.
Okay, so can you bring us up to date? On what has transpired since the last time you guys were here?
You mean as far as work on the site?
Yes.
Absolutely. So let's start with the road, right? We'll start with 9W. So all of there were 3 permits that were applied for to DOT. The first was the right of way work, which included the water, the sanitary, the store work, the realignment at the bottom of the street.
John,
That work,
just move the mic over to her a little bit more.
sorry, that work, under that permit is complete. It's been finalized and inspected by DOT. We're just in the process of waiting for the bond to be released. The second permit that was received from New York State DOT was the traffic signal. And in addition to the traffic signal, that includes some of the reorientation of the Mayor Drive at the bottom of, where it reaches 9W. And some of the work to the south of 9W, you probably saw some work there all being completed. That work is, in interim, because we're in winter conditions, the DOT doesn't allow you to work in that right of way. All of the work needed to install the traffic signal, that's subsurface, all the underground work, all the wiring, all the conduit work is completed. We are in the process now of waiting for the long lead items, which is the traffic signal itself and the masts, the arms for the traffic signal. All of those submittals are done and approved by DOT and those materials are ordered. I think we're kind of talking about a March restart, which coincides with the weather improvements and when DOT will allow you to get back in there. So that is ongoing. That contractor is just in pause right now, mostly because of the weather. The third permit that was applied to for DOT had to do with the sidewalks. So if you recall, one of the conditions of approval is that the applicant install sidewalks all the way from Mayor north under the underpass, and then it connects to the existing sidewalk system. That continues to be under review by DOT. I think the last comment letter that we got from them was right after the holidays, but right before the new year. And so we're working on whatever revisions to the plans need to go in. That one involves right of way work and involves real estate with New York State DOT. So if anyone has been through that process tends to be a little bit longer when you involve real estate. So that's the DOT portion of the work. All of the work that was required for the relocation of the town sanitary sewer along Mayor Drive and then into the site, there was a sewer line that was into the site. All of that work has been done and relocated. It's been done in coordination with the town water and sewer departments. With respect to the site itself, Healthcare Center Lane, which is the road that intersects with Mayor. So that is installed. All of the infrastructure is installed along that roadway, water, sewer, storm. The two big storm chambers were installed along that road. That road is bindered all the way up to where the models will be constructed. The models are constructed on Peach Lane. So there's a portion of Peach Lane that was actually bindered, was paved. All the water, sewer for those two, or well, there's three models. There's kind of two buildings, but three models are in. And the order from for those models is in, so now we're just in the waiting period to see how long it's going to take to receive those models. We're about ready to submit the building permit applications for those three models, so we will have those shortly. All of the work behind Apple Lane, so the neighbors that are on Apple Lane that border the project site, there was a series of grading and tree removal and relocations of some equipment that was on those neighbors' property. All of that occurred fairly smoothly with the neighbors. There was good work together collaboratively with everyone. The water line on Apple Lane, if you recall, there's a 12-inch water line that's going to be installed. That did not get installed, mostly because the timing of when that would have gotten installed was around the holidays, and we didn't think that it was appropriate to be digging up in front of the neighbor's property, even though it's on the town property. We thought it was best to defer that. Now we're getting into some winter conditions, so we'll determine when that water line is going to go in, but that would be the next step. Booster pump has been designed, finished, approved by Ulster County. Light pole bases have been installed. Guide rails and so forth have been installed, curbs have been installed all the way up to where those models are proposed. I think that's a good summary of where we are.
Nice.
My word.
Anyone wants to go, we're happy to bring people up if you want to do a site visit, happy to bring you up and we can walk the site if you want to see it. Sure. You can see some of the work that's been completed, but a lot of work has been completed to date. Golden Venture is just the contractor. They've been phenomenal, just really produced well. Site always seems to hold really well with some weather conditions. There were some concerns of neighbors of some off-site stormwater. We were on site immediately after just to show that it really wasn't sourced from our project, but we did some off-site proactive work anyway, just to try to prevent any other work and any other stormwater. But we've been very actively involved on the site.
Are you finished with the wall?
No, that number is wall 11. So wall 11 is up to station, we do mid stations, which is linear feet. I think it's like station 414, so it's 414 feet over. Wall 11 would be extended 1100 feet. So there's an additional amount of the wall that has to be installed. So we're at 414 plus or minus.
Structurally, it's holding up.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yep. That's inspected by a structural engineer, a third party testing, and then the manufacturer comes out and inspects it as well. Yep. All those reports are provided to the town.
Anyone else?
Just to be clear,
permitting DOT, you got permits in hand for the light, all that's minus the sidewalk.
Correct, yep, and it's under construction, so there was probably 3 months of construction that occurred. You might not be able to tell that it was going on because there was the right-of-way work that was going on at the same time, but all the underground work to prep for so for example, if the mast came during winter conditions, we could install them. Yep, and the town has a copy of the permit. You're welcome.
And there is no certificate of occupancy that will be issued for phase A
Correct.
until that is installed
And operational, yep. And that's why we split the sidewalk permit apart, because we knew that the sidewalk permit was a longer time frame because of the involvement with real estate.
Anyone else on the board? Anyone out there in Zoom land, Freddie or Bill?
I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
all right. So we'll have a little time to figure this out. We'll see you.
Absolutely. Yeah, if any questions between now and next week, just let us know. There's just a little bit of
Emails.
to look at.
We did have some comments regarding.
I should have asked you, I apologize.
It's okay. We did have some comments regarding the phasing plan that events provided. I don't know how deep in the weeds you want me to go with the comments. They're something that's pretty technical in nature. We had concerns about how the ALF is gonna proceed. All the rest of the comments, they're site-specific, very detailed comments. I don't know. that I need-
You can give us an overall, I think they're gonna need the exact specifics, unless it's something that we would have to determine.
We're happy with a copy of the letter when you're done, if you can forward a copy of the letter to us.
Yeah, they're very, very specific. We can put out
Okay.
a copy of it. It's something that the board really needs to concern itself with. This hydrant needs to be in this phase, these infiltrators need to be in that phase, because it's dependent, from a stormwater perspective, but we did have a number
Sure.
of comments on it.
Okay.
We all have a copy of that already?
No, I haven't.
No,
Yeah,
no,
send it off to all of us. We have to. If there's any questions, the next time we can ask you what's going on with it, so,
Perfect.
all right?
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Yes, you
Okay.
discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And how has the town been? Any complaints, any issues?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
holy shit. Do I not look tired?
yeah,
No, I do have to say, I'm gonna follow up on something that Kelly said. There was a complaint about off-site water.
yeah.
Out of the blue, I went to pick up a birthday card, for my wife. Walgreens on the way back, I drove up to the site. Now, this is just after Walgreens opened 8:05, and her team is already on the site, having reviewed, the concern that I said just the evening before. Her team's already there, Ken's already there, the engineer, and they've already figured out how they're gonna kind of on their end of the site, kind of do something that may or may not help it. I think we've got to the point where we realize it's not coming from them. There's no channelized water on their project where they cleared, but I appreciate the fact that your team was out there. I mean, out of the blue, I didn't expect to see them. I just drove up to see based on the conversation we were, so it was nice to see that.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely, thank you.
Dave, was this right after that heavy rain?
Yeah, the 4 inches and 24, yeah.
I didn't see any pictures on Facebook being out on 9W, so I guess you guys are doing good.
Yeah, it's well managed now.
I remember you and I spoke about it. I just wanted to make note of it, so the people in the town knew what was happening.
Yeah, no, I'm actually it's the first time in a long time that I was pleasantly surprised by the developers team. So,
Thank you. Keep it up.
Okay, all right, have a good night.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, John.
good luck in Fishkill.
Next on the agenda is 180 South Street, commercial site plan. He's not here. Do you want to talk about it?
Who? Randy?
Yeah.
We're just waiting for county, no county input.
That's right, yeah. 180 South Street, commercial site plan. Do we have anyone, the applicant here? In Zoom land? Would that be a no?
You really gotta be kidding me with this.
Can't believe that. They called me and I told them it was 5:30. They asked if they could be on Zoom. I said yes.
Okay, let's just,
Just pull up Larry so everybody can see.
No, it's-
no, it's not you,
180
Zahar.
South Street.
Oh, all right.
No, you can-
You're coming though. I think you're next.
I like it.
I have to say, I think I said back in the email, that I thought the rendering was definitely a lot nicer than what we had seen. And a little more, I'd say very acceptable. to
Yes,
us.
I like it.
I can bring them
What's
up.
the board thought?
Yeah, it's there now.
I agree.
Remember, we didn't want any flat,
Yeah, it's-
they really added some texture to the whole project, and I say, I think you can.
I actually think it's so.
I do too. I like the way the lights are a little softer
Yes.
on that street, they're not so industrial looking.
Right.
See, that's a very nice.
However,
Uh-oh.
And we noticed that some of the lights there, they have like a double-headed wall sconce.
Mhm.
Some provide uplighting and that's not permitted, so those are gonna have to be,
yeah, we don't allow upright, lighting. So, but the downlighting, we'll just have them raise them up, and so they'll kind
Do
of,
you have an overhang there?
no.
Are you sure?
Yeah, there's a little overhang.
Because they got the lights coming down.
I think
Yeah, right above the window.
Those lights are going up.
I think that's a bird.
Right.
I think that overhangs a bird.
Yeah, but not on corners.
But the basic concept.
You're not allowed to have uplighting.
No uplighting.
No uplighting, it's, how do we change it? How do we change that? Put caps on them.
Yeah.
and one thing I had in my notes, I remember, previous renderings provided to the board for consideration, they had the blue accent line, the blue heartbeat.
Yeah.
It seems like they've kind of gotten away from that, it's, I just point that out because it's.
I do think that might be, so I think some of the issues, because Christian and I, we did talk about that. Give me a second here.
Well, in all fairness, they're not here tonight, so we're talking about stuff that.
And anything we say, I think, you have a comment, letter?
I do, and it's pertaining primarily to that new drainage line.
Right, I would get that so that.
Yeah, they need to, I mean, even though we're talking and discussing what we're seeing, we're not making any changes, we're not doing anything like that.
I do, part of it, I think, if you recall, was breaking up the front of the building,
That's right.
right? And I think that, I think they've accomplished that pretty well, and I think you're all feeling that. Partially because of the lights and the solid column,
Yeah.
the facade treatment. Again, we can figure out a way to, I mean, instead of uplighting on the top, they could do a cap. You know, a luminescent cap with a solid cap, and that would not uplight, but you still have that extra piece.
Right.
Okay.
And then I'll just force them to source those lights from one of our two facilities here in Island.
There you go.
That makes lights.
There you go. But I'd have to say, and that's really all it was these are extremely acceptable renderings compared to what we saw before. It definitely looks nice on the street.
That's a specific one.
Yeah. Carl? Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay, but it does look great.
It does.
Got a little disco look to it. Well,
Carl, you love disco.
have to wear your leisure suit for that one. Look like a club. Okay, next on the agenda is short-term rentals. We have a public hearing, so I believe it's, I'm gonna try and say her name.
Zara?
Hashimia?
Not too bad, Zara Hashemian.
I apologize.
You did well, it's all right.
So, review status is application and supporting documents were circulated to the board. Public hearing is set for January 18th and January 25th. So we could have a motion to open the public hearing.
Most.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? Seeing none, public hearing is open. Do we have anyone from the public that would like to speak on behalf or against the project?
Do you want to give her an opportunity?
Yeah, maybe we'll do that first before we're, then Paul. Good idea, thanks, Paul. Sorry, brand new year. So if you wouldn't mind, could you discuss the project a little bit?
Sure, yeah, so I've run an Airbnb off and on for 12 years. I owned a home in Pennsylvania and I ran it as an Airbnb for about 4. And have always been in touch with guests, always concerned about neighbors' concerns as well, and have been a super host on Airbnb for 12 years. I like to make sure to be in contact with my guests if they need anything, if there's any issues, to be very present and respond. And usually, you know, I'll get people that maybe stay for a week, sometimes people that will stay for a weekend, just depends. I always like to host people that have had previous good reviews on Airbnb. Usually you can rate your host and you can rate your guest. So anyone that's usually been rated high, I like to extend my rental to them. If people have never rented through Airbnb or some sort of short-term rental option before, I ask a lot of questions because I want to vet people, make sure they are, good to be in my home and they follow the rules. So I usually will, send over things, make sure, ask a lot of questions, make sure they're good with the rules, make sure they're good with all the safety stuff. So yeah, I like to try to be a responsible host and also just give people a nice space to be in and relax and enjoy getting away.
Anything from staff?
Yeah, just. So Dave Barton here. I have one quick question. There was a little confusion on my part, and it's completely my fault, as to the number of occupants you are requesting. I know on the original page you had 10. We asked you to change that to 6 because of 3 bedrooms. This is
Correct.
this is no water sewer district, so the septic issue is by the wayside. However, on the very next page, where it says occupancy, it looks like there were 13 possible guests.
Oh,
So if you could sort of just for my own satisfaction, could you just tell us exactly how many that you'll be listing it for?
I think I don't want to have any more than 6 to 8 guests in the home, even though, there's places to sleep, because I think it would probably be too many to have any more than 8 people. But there's a king size bed in one bedroom, queen size bed in another, another king size bed in the living room space, that's like a trundle day bed. And then another small single bed. So it can accommodate for those people as long as septic is fine. Then I'd be happy to list it for like 8 people. If that's a problem, then I'll list it for 6. I just want to make sure everything's done okay. So
Dave, the picture you showed didn't look like there was that much parking there. Am I mistaken?
oh, so it's a pretty long driveway and there's a garage as well. So it's a 2-car garage, and then there's at least, I think you could fit at least 3 to 4 cars in the driveway if 2 cars park side by side, and come up, and then another 2.
Renting it with the garage?
Yeah, it's the whole building. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. So it's a pretty long driveway, and the trash cans aren't there. They're further up near the front of the house, near the garage.
I guess on my memory, we're still doing most of these SDRs based on the bedrooms.
What?
Bedrooms, right?
That's correct.
Based off of the septic system that was available for the bedroom.
Correct.
That's
That's why I'm gonna say that it's bedrooms too, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, because the septic size for a building not in the sewer district would have been based on the number of bedrooms.
That's right, but, so I just, for my own recollection, I'm just worried about having all these rooms with people sleeping in them, and I realize she's saying 6 to 8, but I'm not sure if it still would be.
Yeah, there's three bedrooms
Mhm.
upstairs, and then 2 living room spaces downstairs, and 1 living room space can accommodate for a couple of guests.
So I guess what I'm getting at is we were trying to use bedrooms as places for people to sleep as opposed to, we've got room in a non-used pantry closet that'll fit a bed. We don't want that kind of thing.
No.
So we're trying to at least keep it, as Lara says, consistent with the number of bedrooms. 6, if that's a good possibility, and the rest of the board will kind of determine that too.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, the way you have it broken up in your occupancy, I would probably get rid of all that and just write 6.
Okay,
It's just, it's a little, you got people in an office, you got people, and we just
Okay.
consistency here. And it's a matter of safety for the people, so God forbid something is going on, you're looking in bedrooms, you're not looking in. What did somebody tell us in the closet under the stairs or something? We gotta do that.
no Harry Potter houses.
There you go, I'm making light of it, but it truly would be a safety issue, so I think if the board's inclined to feel the same way.
So 3 bedrooms, 6 people, correct?
Yes, ma'am, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Zahara, your maintenance manager? How
Yes.
far away is he?
Say that again?
How far away?
Well, I'll be living part-time in the house, and then I have a guest or a friend of mine who's also 15 miles from the house. And another workman. So I have plenty of people, but I plan to be very active and very much there.
But isn't it, where is the emergency contact person?
In Rosendale?
That's fine.
Yeah, I'll probably just beat him there.
Okay. Anything else for the board? Staff?
Yeah.
I will keep the, anyone from the public, that's what I'm looking for. Thanks. Anyone from the public want to speak on behalf or against the project? And seeing none, we'll keep the public hearing open until next week and we'll go from there,
Yeah, I think we will have, you'll have a resolution prepared for you?
right? Ask if we can do a draft resolution.
It's done.
It's done? All right, well, let's do it, next week,
Yep, no question.
all right?
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you were directing.
Yeah,
I
and
was just asking, though, I wasn't sure if we were good.
We're
in
good.
the meantime, she can fix her application, right?
Perfect.
The application, yeah, is, yeah,
Well,
Update the
so
house
just take out
Oh,
the
yes,
occupancy,
you're right.
she's asking for 12 people.
Right.
So.
Just to put a,
Remove. Okay, Sarah?
yeah, just to put a
Okay.
note of the 6.
Yeah.
Got it. No problem.
Remove the day bed, remove the office bed that'll fit in there, the futon, the mat on the floor, anything, just bedrooms,
Got it.
okay?
All right. Sounds good. I'll do that.
Thank you very much. See you next week.
Sounds
You don't have to be here for next week, I don't think.
yeah.
As long as they get that stuff.
Shouldn't she be available by Zoom if the public is commenting?
Yeah, she should be here.
Yeah, you could be, why not?
I'm planning to be, so
There you
Awesome.
go. Thank you.
I'll be here.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Next on the agenda is administrative business. We have Falcon Ridge, secret declaration. I apologize. Potential action is secret declaration resolution. Okay, so who do we need? Oh, no. I was wondering. Come on up, state your name. Sorry, I know each other, but the rest of us.
Yes, thank you. Andrew Gilchrist.
Bring a mic, let's see it, turn it on. Thank you.
That would help. Thank you. Andrew Gilchrist, project attorney.
Then, it's not the
They're gonna go for, explain a little bit about what you got, and here we are.
Mm,
Yes,
Okay.
Well, certainly, I can reorient. We were here in December, and at that point, there likewise was a proposed part 2 and resolution. I learned my lesson. I had submitted a letter to the board for consideration regarding the EAF part 2. And the board did not have sufficient time to review that, so we're back tonight. We were provided, thank you very much, with the proposed part 2 and proposed resolution as revised, and we've had a chance to review that. So we're here for the board's consideration of a secret determination on the project.
next, Paul, you're up.
Yeah, and so after the December 7th meeting, we have updated the FEAF part 2. And we've updated the resolution in part to respond to some of the comments that the applicant had made, which are appreciated, but it helped us to kind of go a little further in making sure that the board's rationale was clear. That draft resolution, updated FEAF part 2 have been provided to the board for review and consideration. You can go through it. Any questions that you have? Otherwise, I would recommend it for the board's consideration and approval.
Okay, and we can do that at the next meeting?
You can do that tonight.
Workshop?
Yeah,
I'm
now-
not sure. I think there may be an issue in terms of the applicant's availability and their, but you can take that action tonight.
Okay,
Unless Andy's got another letter.
okay, do we know that?
I don't think he does.
Again, lesson learned. I'm here to respond to any comments that the board may have.
Right.
No.
Very good, very good. Thank you.
We're all and the board has, obviously spent a lot of time thinking about this, and we've been back and forth over it. I think the applicant is probably looking forward to moving forward with the process. So the next step of the applicant, if the board adopts this resolution, would be for them to provide the board with a draft scope for a DEIS. And then the board would review that, provide comments, get public comments, and then ultimately adopt a final scope that would provide the basis for them to go ahead and start working on the DEIS.
Okay.
The only other thing I would add for tonight, well, we can take this up after if the board takes action. One of the things that we've discussed with Dave Barton and CPL is that the board may want to have its own experts look at some of the different areas of impact. And so we could talk about that if the board adopts this resolution.
Well, let's go through it and then we'll actually maybe do this for the board. Do you guys, anybody have any questions? Fred and Bill, this includes you guys too.
Thanks.
I have a question. I'm not sure how relevant it is. Was Fred on the town board when this was approved?
Boy, I don't remember.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was an issue with that. That was my only question.
Former Supervisor Pizzuto was on the town board when you adopted the resolution regarding seeker lead agency for the planning board. I don't. We could think about that, but I don't necessarily see that as a conflict at this point.
That was my concern. Okay.
Thanks.
Frankly, I inquire, I'm
Yeah,
not really
sure.
sure that I'm clear on those positions, the persons and the potential conflict. Can you step through that?
Sure, absolutely. Mr. Pizzuto, who is now an alternate on the planning board, was the supervisor for the town at the time that the town board consented to lead agency status for the planning board when they made their initial circulation. So he was part of the resolution that was adopted at that time. I mean, if you'd like, we can talk about this further. I don't think the alternate needs to vote tonight.
Yeah, he's not voting on anything.
Correct, so I don't see any issue for this evening. I'm happy to talk through it further.
Glad to do that. Yeah, because I got to think about it as well, a little bit more.
Great. Okay, well, if you want, start off on the,
Shall I read just whereas?
Yeah.
Ready to resolve?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So this is for a 166 lot residential subdivision on Falcon Ridge, Upper North Road, Town of Lloyd. Go through and we talk about the proposed action, the potential impacts, the secret process, the board's secret review to date. The fact that the board has established itself as the secret lead agency for the review of the project. You circulated it to involved and interested agencies. You've had one individual or one organization that's a private organization indicate an interest in being considered as an interested party. And so based on that, and after reviewing the FEAF Part 1 provided by the applicant, the FEAF Part 2 that the board has gone through and identified potential impacts with respect to the project, and looking at the preliminary or the subdivision sketch plan that was provided by the applicant in the project narrative, the other supporting information, the board would resolve as follows. Now, they have resolved that the planning board acting as lead agency for coordinated secret review of proposed action makes a positive declaration pursuant to 6 NYCRR section 617.7 that the proposed action has the potential to result in significant adverse impacts to the environment, and that an environmental impact statement must be prepared for the proposed action in accordance with 6 NYCRR section 617.9 and 617.10 to consider the potential impacts of, alternatives to, and mitigation for the proposed action, and to weigh social and economic and environmental factors early in the planning and decision-making process for the proposed action. We have further resolved that the chairman shall be authorized to complete and sign an FEAF Part 3 for the proposed action, issuing a positive secret declaration based on this resolution and the attached FEAF Parts 1 and 2. Notice of the planning board's declaration, including this resolution, shall be filed with the planning board secretary and distributed to all involved and interested agencies and other interested parties. And notice of the positive declaration shall be published in the environmental notice bulletin. Be it further resolved that the EIS shall focus on the potential impacts of the package plan and the potential visual impacts of the proposed action, as well as on the other potential moderate to large adverse impacts identified in the FEAF Part 2 by the planning board, and shall consider reasonable alternatives to the proposed action. Consideration by the planning board of all of these environmental impacts and any others identified in the course of the planning board's secret review of the proposed action and of any reasonable alternatives to the proposed action shall provide the basis for the planning board's findings pursuant to 6 NYCRR section 16.11D with respect to any final EIS it adopts for the proposed action. And be it further resolved that pursuant to 6 NYCRR section 617.8B, the applicant shall submit a proposed scope to the planning board that addresses each of the potential impacts identified by the planning board in the FEAF Part 2, and this resolution that addresses the items identified in 6 NYCRR 617.8 E1 through 5. Be it further resolved that pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.8B, the planning board will provide a copy of the draft scope to all involved and interested agencies and make it available to any individual or interested agency that has expressed an interest in writing to the lead agency. A copy of the draft scope will be made available to the public on the town of Lloyd website, and an opportunity for public comment on the draft scope will be provided in writing and at a planning board meeting. Be it further resolved that the planning board, after reviewing all comments provided in any draft of the proposed scope, shall adopt the draft revised scope and provide it to the applicant, all involved agencies, and any individual or interested agency that is expressed in interest in the proposed action. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Can I have a motion to accept the resolution as read? Second?
Second.
Thank you. I'm gonna do a roll call on this. Carl Di Lorenzo. Aye. Charlie Long. Aye. Sorry, Frank Lozani.
Aye.
Jerry Marion.
Aye.
Bill Meltzer.
I'm not sure that,
Aye.
I'm not sure Bill can, vote.
He's not in the,
Oh, that's right, because he's not here. All right. Okay.
Why not here by Zoom?
It's a county thing, I think, at this point. You're,
Well, we can talk about that, Bill.
yeah.
nevertheless, he's an aye.
Yeah. Lambros. Aye. And I'm an aye. Charlie Long? Did I ask you already? I apologize. Sorry, when I missed over. So. Any opposed? We didn't see any. Any abstentions? We don't see any. Resolution passed. Thank you.
Thank you. Just one question on procedure. Does this board, when the draft scope is submitted, clearly there'll be an opportunity for written comment. Does the board, in the procedure, hold a public scoping meeting at a board meeting, or simply identify the draft scope has been received, provided to the public, and a written comment period established. Do you know that?
That would be a board preference. I would suggest that, they, and I think we had talked about previously that not only would an opportunity for written comment be provided, but there would be at a planning board meeting an opportunity for the public.
Yeah, so it's usually.
Before we finalize.
I agree. Thank you.
And so I'd, follow up then on the discussion of, hiring outside.
Yes,
experts.
please, just
Okay.
be a little deeper into that too, so we will understand what's happening.
So we did have a conversation, with Dave Barton and CPL. We have not talked with the applicant about this, but, three potential, consultants that we identified with CPL carrying, every other aspect of the load from a technical review standpoint would be a need for consultant to review the cultural resources. Both the scope and at least the initial submission by the applicant to make sure it's on the right track. The visual impacts, which are one of the significant impacts identified, and then plants and animals, just to make sure that, we and the applicant are on the same wavelength in terms of both the scope of the review, methodology, and also to have someone to advise the board with some expertise on the adequacy of the work
Great.
provided.
Does the board get, it's all good? As long as there's no conflict of interest, the person they hired to the applicant.
Right.
That's all I care about.
Yeah, we'll clear that with the applicant, but we have three names already. Hudson Cultural Resources has done work. Both the CPL has seen, they've represented clients that, I've also represented. There's a gentleman named George Janes, Janes, out of, the city, and he has done work in Dutchess County that's been very well thought of. So he would be the visual consultant potentially, and then CPL identified someone. Do you know the name of your biologist?
Andy deals with that.
Do you have that, Dave?
You're not handy.
I've got it. I can see if anybody has any immediate issues. Take a second on that. We were all copied on this. So here it is. Let's see here. This is with Aspen Environmental.
Oh, Carol,
Carol Knapp,
she's good.
she yours?
No, we just came from a meeting
Okay,
in the town of Poughkeepsie. And we've been dealing with Ms. Knapp on a project there, so we're familiar with her.
okay.
So she's local. Lives in Clinton now.
Glendale, correct. Yeah. Okay,
Any other questions?
you good? Are you familiar with Hudson Cultural?
I am not, I'm not sure.
Who's the principal? Beth Selig, Selig.
My son works there.
I knew that. Wait a minute, so that may be a conflict. We'll have to look
I
at
just
that
have to
one as
recuse
well.
myself, that's all.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, just remembered that. Okay, so, we'll talk. I'll talk to you, make sure that, you guys don't see any issues in terms of consultants. Those are the ones we rejected at this point.
Okay, we're good,
Great. We thank the board.
and thank you for coming back.
Thanks, guys.
Anything else
Good
you
night.
want to discuss?
Yeah, I'd like to go into,
Attorney.
Well,
Yeah.
attorney client privilege,
You can do that.
Is this for advice and counsel? or-
Yes.
Okay. We do that after we
Executive
adjourn,
session,
because
yeah.
that doesn't have to be part of the meeting.
Okay, that's good. All right, well, we have a motion to adjourn. Motion.
Can I ask a question before we adjourn?
Good that we adjourn.
Did Dave advise the board as to the fire near my house?
He can talk to us about it, yeah.
I just want to make sure you're aware, that's all.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So I think they're all aware now.
Okay.
You just told us. There it is.
Yeah, so,
Is everybody okay? That's the number one question.
probably not the best form and certainly not during an active meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Okay,
That's something you can ask advice about as well.
sure. I think we should discuss that, so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, everybody, for coming, and, we have a motion to adjourn. Second,
We did that, right?
we did?
Yeah.
I did. Okay. All right, double.
All in favor?
We didn't